We're very excited for the 25 season, and we've already started. We're in our second week of practice, and we're just looking forward to continuing the culture that we worked really hard to build over the years. And we have a great group of young ladies that work really hard in the classroom, and they work extremely hard on the field as well. And their one goal is to win ball games and do it together.
Coach, you mentioned the culture with this team. How would you describe the culture to someone that has never been around Lynchburg Hornet softball before?
I would say they're very caring. They're there for each other, and they work really hard as they're learning and growing to hold each other accountable. They know the importance of that, but they are definitely a very tight-knit group that spend a lot of time off the field together as well.
Coach, how do you feel the off-season and kind of preseason preparations have gone? How do you feel the team is right now heading into what's going to be the start of the season?
Good. I think our fall season went really well. It's nice now to be able to spread those days out and not have it crammed in a 4 or 5 week period, which gives opportunity for growth and time to work in between practices, not to overtrain in a short amount of time. I think it also keeps the livelihood of the fun for the game and not overtraining. And I think they did a really good job with that, and we didn't get done until early November. And then it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, they're at home, whatever. But as we get started, it seems like they all came back in a good spot mentally and physically, and our first week of practice was really good.
Through fall ball and through the little bits of spring that we've had so far, have you all been able to identify any key strengths of this year's team?
Culture, I would say, is one. Work ethic is one. Their determination to work better, to get better individually, but also get better as a team. I think they each recognize what their individual strengths and weaknesses are. And I think they work really hard to get better at those, which then makes us better. I would say our strength last few years has been our pitching and our defense. At times we've lost ball games because we didn't score enough runs, but that's not always the case. But being able to recognize and put all the pieces to the puzzle together is what we know we need to do this year.
Coach, you mentioned some of your strengths. What do you think are any specific areas that you're trying to work on or have worked on this offseason that you really want to focus on improving going into this season?
Bunt execution. We didn't do a great job of that last year. So that is one thing, even from the fall, we got better on, and we're trying to work to get better. And just small ball in general, all aspects of it. That is one thing in particular. And also, too, the mental side of things, enjoying the game, understanding just because even though our process is good, we may not always get the result we want, but to embrace that and keep in a good headspace so we continue to grow and not let that take us out of a game, a week, whatever.
You've mentioned the culture and the work ethic with this team. Obviously, you guys bring back a hefty load of returners that includes a lot of veteran talent. What does that veteran leadership mean for this year's group?
I'm going to defer since this one's back, and I'm going to let her answer this one.
I just think just from my first time being back this year, I think the veterans on our team have done a really good job of kind of bringing the other ones, kind of under their wing to kind of show them, the way that Lynchburg softball is and how we have our culture and conduct our culture. And I think, having our veterans, especially, we have 5 fifth years this year, as well as 4 seniors, that I would consider to be all big contributors to our team this year. But they've also done a really good job to, help the younger ones to be able to kind of continue on as, next year they won't be here.
You kind of mentioned the leaders currently that we're heading into the season. Do you expect any other players on the team to kind of take up leadership roles this year that maybe they haven't in the past? And how do you kind of feel like the team as a whole has been gelling?
I hope everyone will continue to step up and have some type of leadership role within the area that they are comfortable in, and maybe that they contribute most in. And I think they all have done a really good job so far with that. And as they get older and have more experiences, we hope they'll continue to grow with that. Through the older leadership that we have, too, that they also allow that. And they do a really good job of allowing that. They want the young ones to be involved, to speak up, to have a voice. And they also know that they can learn from them.
Has there been one player or group of players in a position grouping that has impressed you and really surprised you this offseason and should be someone or a group of names that we anticipate to see have a higher level of production next season?
All 24 on our roster. Well, one's brand new, but I anticipate that as well. So she just got here, she transferred in. But no, I think we have a lot of talent in every area of the game, pitchers, catchers, infield, outfield. A lot of growth has happened this year. A lot of maturity has happened, and we have a lot of contributions in all those areas. And our young ones will, within the elements of what they're ready for, they will contribute in the roles that they're ready for right now.
Coach, do you have any specific goals that you kind of have, implemented to the team or told them that we want to achieve these this year? Or are there any, defining characteristics that you want to carry out throughout the season?
The players actually create their own goals. I think it's important for them to create the goals and us to be the ones to help lead them to accomplish those goals. So that they can probably answer that a little bit better, and we obviously know what they are, but it starts in the classroom and it carries over to the field and carries over to how they treat each other. But knowing the signs, being prepared, working hard, knowing what your role is, again, being a good teammate, but also working really hard to win.
Is there a certain game that you have circled on the calendar for this year?
All 40.
How do you feel about the schedule of this year? Are you excited for some of the difficulty of it that is presented? I know you start a lot at home at the beginning of the season, and then towards the end of the season, you're on the road more. Was that kind of intentional? Or?
Yeah, the schedule wasn't intentional this year. I think we played really well at home last year, and there's been some times where we've traveled a lot, but we have all the upgrades of the facility have finished now. We also did some things to the team room over the holidays, and this is a really good place to play, and our fan support, whether we're on the road or home, is really good. But it's also nice to be able to sleep in your own bed and those things. So we intentionally created an 11-game home series this year, outside of obviously the conference tells us when we have to play, but we created some more home games for out of conference. So hoping that we'll continue to play very well at home as we did last year. So looking forward to that. So you guys got to give her another question. We can't, come on now, it's just one.
One was good.
No, it wasn't. How about asking her about being back and the difference when she was here before to whatever, or something like that, or?
I like that. Audra, tell me the difference between Lynchburg the last time you were here and this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited, definitely excited to be back. Just with my track record with Lynchburg, being a player here, and then a graduate assistant, and then an assistant coach, and I think when I was here last time, we didn't probably have the veteran leadership that we have now. And it's really fun to see the way that they work together, and kind of Coach touched upon the way that they care for each other, that they want to spend time together off of the field, and then helping the younger ones kind of just get accustomed with, how we run practices, how we do things, how to be a good person on and off the field. And it's really nice to see that the veterans are just taking the younger ones under their wings, so that when they get to be upperclassmen, they can continue that culture and kind of just show them what Lynchburg softball is all about. And then another big thing would be just the facility changes. So the facility changes from when I was here last time to this time are incredible. New scoreboard, the dugouts, the bigger dugouts are a big one. The stadium seating that we have is great, and I think adds a lot just to the atmosphere, even when you drive by Moon Field, and it sticks out to you, and kind of draws people in to want to come check it out.
We're very fortunate with the rest of our staff too, who's not here today, but Coach Jay's been with us for a long time. And then we got Coach Martinez back and Coach Michelle's back. So some former players, some former staff members that are back along with Coach B. And that makes a difference too. That also helps with the culture of the atmosphere that we're able to create at practice, and the things we're able to provide for the team as well.
You mentioned kind of the atmosphere and kind of what makes Lynchburg special. Can you kind of talk to why you want to continue to come back, and what really, not just the softball program, but Lynchburg as a whole, the university, what really stands out to you and makes you want to be here?
I mean, I can speak upon it, as I've been to 2 other places other than Lynchburg, and I've always come back to Lynchburg. I would say another key thing is just the athletic department as a whole. Everybody is there for each other at the athletic department, and if you need something, if you're, need help hosting, NCAAs, or you need help kind of doing an activity and you need outside help, or, selling tickets at different events and just connecting, with, yes, there are coworkers, but I would also consider some of them my friends, to be able to reach out to them if you need anything. And that's not evident at, other places that I've been at. And I think just the university as a whole is just, to me, even as a student here, just kind of the close-knit community. I was a student athlete here, but I also had friends that were not student athletes that would, come support, me on the softball field, and just kind of having the professors here that are also big supporters of athletics, and coming to the games and wanting to see, their students succeed to represent the university as well.
For each of you, what are you most excited for this year?
The season to just have fun. I mean, we've enjoyed practice. Practice was fun because they bring the right atmosphere and the work ethic to practice, right? If they're complaining or whatever, but it's just, this group is really fun. I'm excited to see what this team can accomplish together because they have so much fun together and they work really hard together.
And I'm excited, for our schedule and getting on the field to play games, just kind of seeing, how we square up against the teams, in Division III and specifically in our conference, which is probably one of the tougher conferences in the country. So we have, pretty difficult games on our schedule, and it'll be exciting to see how we square up against them.
You asked about the schedule earlier, and in no way do we want to overlook anybody because everybody in our conference and everybody that's on their schedule on any given day, anybody can be beat. But aside from the ranked teams that are in our conference, and also we're playing Christopher Newport, we're playing Salisbury. We don't have an easy schedule at the Triangle Classic that we go down to. So our schedule is full of challenges, but I think this group is ready for those challenges, and it'll be fun to see how they go after them.